Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another top 5 champions of a specific class. Today, we're going to be tackling the skill class. So the skill class is interesting because I think it's one of the weakest overall classes, but some of the top champs are really good in it. Mainly one champion, which is the number 1 spot. But before we get into the actual top 5 list, we got a bit of a honorable mention. So the honorable mention for this list is where is he? Killmonger. So Killmonger is my honorable mention. I think Killmonger is a good champion, a god tier champion, but I just don't think he's as good as the other skill champions on this list. Just doesn't really compete damage wise or utility wise. I am a big fan of some of Killmonger's abilities. His L3 bleed build up throughout the fight where you can just apply like a ton of bleeds and just the most bleed damage per tick that I've ever seen. I love that. I think that's a really cool ability, and I'm a really big fan of his L2 indestructible effects. I remember when I first made the CCP video on Killmonger. That was like so long ago. That was like when not the last war map, but the one before that, like when that like first came out, that was like when I made that video. I remember fighting against Dormammu and using the special 2 from Killmonger to get the indestructible to take no damage from the special 3. And I love that ability. I love indestructible abilities like that lets you tank L3s. I'm a really big fan of those types of abilities. Killmonger was actually bugged at one point where when he had his indestructible effects active, he was actually immune to debuff damage and damage over time. If Killmonger actually had that ability, he would be a lot higher on this list. I wish they would have kept him like that. That would have been insane. But yeah, without that ability, he comes in as an honorable mention. He's a bit more of a defensive based champion, I think, with his reverberation and everything like that. He's a great defender, really great defender, but yeah, comes in as an honorable mention on this list for skill champions. So coming in at number 5, this is going to be the most controversial placement, I'm sure, but I actually have Aegon. Now you're going to be thinking, what? You have Aegon at number 5? Like, what? Now, let me explain. So if we're talking about Labyrinth or Abyss, Aegon would be number 1 or number 2. Probably number 1. Yeah, he'd be number 1 if we're talking about those individual pieces of content. But outside of those pieces of content, I really don't think Aegon is that good, man. He takes so long to build up, and it's just not worth it for most quests. I'd rather just be using a different champion for like majority of the quests out there outside of Labyrinth and the Abyss of Legends. Now, fully ramped up Aegon at 999 combo, I think he's the best champion in the game. 100%. Just the best overall champion in the game. At a max combo, I don't think anyone's better than him. Simple. But getting to that point takes a very long time, a lot of fights, a lot of hits, and it's not practical anywhere outside of Abyss and Labyrinth. Maybe a couple lanes in Act 6, but again, I would rather just be using different champions than worrying about building up Aegon. So, for those reasons, I put him at number 5 on the list. Now, don't get me wrong. In Labyrinth and Abyss, he's the best. He's so good once you fully build him up, man. At max hits, you're like permanently unblockable essentially. You always crit. You crit really hard. You bypass the opponent's defensive ability accuracy. You're unstoppable. You're getting Furies on every hit. You're getting true accuracy, so you're bypassing evade, auto block. You're shrugging off any debuffs. Like at max combo, it is absolutely insane. You can also use their heavy attack to deal a bunch of damage, get hit a little bit, and just deal an absolutely absurd amount of damage. Love it. Special 2's got a nice chunky bleed. Special 3, one of the longest stuns in the entire game once you have his combo built up. So love Aegon, man, for that long form content. But just outside of them, I'm not that big of a fan of him. And, that's why I would never rank up a 6-star Aegon. Until we got, like, the next Abyss of Legends, I would never rank up a 6-star Aegon. Personally, I just don't see the point in it. 5 stars more than enough. 6-star rank 2 Aegon, sure, if you're not the 5-star, but I would never rank 3 in Aegon. In the current state of the game, I just wouldn't do it. especially me being done with the Abyss. Maybe if I still had all the Abyss to do, I think is a worthwhile investment, maybe. But especially having the Abyss done, I would never rank up an Aegon now. There's just 0 points. Until that next level of content comes out, I got Aegon at the number 5 spot. So I hope you understand my reasoning. And again, if you disagree, this list is all my opinion, and you're free to disagree, but let's just keep it respectful, have a nice discussion in the comments. So coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Stealth Spidey. So Spider-Man Stealth Suit. He's awesome, man. He's a skill champion. I remember when he was announced, I remember when Stark Spidey was announced, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, another Spider-Verse character! Like we have enough Spider-Man. Give us this character. Give us this character." And I was like, "Yo, be quiet, man. Spider-Man's my favorite character. Like in any form of media, in any form of anything. She's my favorite character, fictional character. He is. So I'm like, yo." More Spider-Man, the better. Bring him on. Bring me Stark Spidey. And then Stealth Spidey, same thing happened. People were hesitant about getting another Spider-Man character. And then when they actually came, now everybody loves him, you know? And I'm such a big fan of Spider-Man. Grew up watching the 90s animated show, cartoon. I was born in 1999, so I was watching the reruns in the morning, you know, every day before school. Just absolutely love Spider-Man, dude. And Stealth Suit Spidey is awesome. He has the same damage output, actually higher damage output than Stark Spidey, with the vulnerability debuff. The guy, Command John, actually made sure of that, that he had equal to, or if not a little bit higher damage than Stark Spidey. But that's reliant on the vulnerability debuff being active. But, he also has slow. That's the real thing why this champion is up here. If he didn't have the slow, I don't know if he would be up here. He wouldn't be as high as Aegon, or higher than Aegon on this list if he didn't have that slow. The slow is really the main thing about Stealth Spidey. He has great damage output, can crit a lot, really big furies, crit passives, which is great, but it's all about the slow, man. You can keep the slow debuff up forever, which is great. I had a 1,600 hit combo, 1,600 combo against Abyss Luke Cage. Almost soloed him. It was definitely the most hits on YouTube against Luke Cage, I think, that I've seen at least. It wasn't a solo, but a lot of hits, man. Biggest combo I've ever had, and that I've ever seen, a real combo. I'm sure you guys have heard of the 10,000 hit combo, or I think it's 100,000 hit combo now. That guy did against the Grandmaster, but the Grandmaster's stunned, so it's not like, I mean all you gotta do is tap, but it's just a lot of time. But I digress. So Stealth Spidey coming in at number 4 on the list, mainly for that slow, really great. Like I said, keep the slow up forever. Just cycle special 3, refill your web cartridges, keep that slow active. I really wish he had more web cartridges. I hope that he gets more through Synergies in the future, because right now he has an Enervate, which sucks. It's terrible. He has a vulnerability debuff, which is good because it increases the damage output, but not a lot of utility there. And then he has the slow, which a ton of utility, and which is what puts him on the map. But he needs more. I'd love to see more web cartridges being available to him, and just so he's more customizable and more versatile. But yeah, right now, whoops, connected my phone, come on. We put him at number 4 on the list. So coming in at number 3 on the list, we have an OG Blade. So yes, Blade. I still remember when Blade was coming out. We were at Comic-Con, and it was Morningstar, Mephisto, and Blade in one month. It was those 3 characters, a triple champ month. And I think Blade was coming out last of the 3. And I remember reading his abilities, and I was thinking he was going to be insane. It thought the same. And a lot of people in the community didn't think he was going to be that good. And I still remember the exact conversation I had with C. And I was sitting in Vex's basement, who's a YouTuber. MCC tour a couple years ago. I stayed at his house for Comic-Con, the first Comic-Con I went to. And yeah, it's me, Seaton, Vex, and Yeet. We're all hanging out in Vex's basement. We just did like a live stream. You can still probably find this live stream on YouTube. And I remember talking to Seaton. We're sitting on the couch, and I was like, yo, like, what do you think about Blade? I was like, because a lot of people aren't thinking he's going to be that good. And me and Seaton, we had a rap. And we were on the same page on this one. We're like, Blade's going to be really good. We both had a really good feeling about Blade. And then Blade actually came out, and it was... I was saving my shards. I think I was saving them for Stark Spidey's return. I think, I don't know. I had a lot of shards, and I asked Brian. I'm like, yo, I really want to go for Blade. Tell me I shouldn't do it. He's like, you should do it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. And I opened, I think it was five-star featured Blade crystals, and they went terribly. I pulled like Luke Cage, Red Hulk. This was before their buffs, so they were garbage back then. I was pulling so much garbage, and then I had enough for like one more, and I decided to go for it, and I got him, and it was crazy. It was crazy. You guys can go watch that opening. I recommend seeing it at least once. It was a roller coaster of emotion, and I finally got Blade. So I had Blade right away. I actually pulled the 4-star Blade actually too from an early access bundle, which back then I think it was you could only get 4 stars from those. So I had Blade like before anyone else did, except for like CCP. I don't think I was CCP at the time, but yeah, so I actually don't think they got Blade that month. They had Morningstar. Wow, there's so much memories. Okay, but yeah, Blade. So I had Blade. He was awesome. And then I remember just everybody saved for Blade the second time around. Everyone knew how good Blade was, and every single person, not every single person, but 90% of people on the top of the leaderboard, you'd look, Blade, 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 Brian Grant, Blade, 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 as their profile picture. Everyone had him. And it was crazy. Everybody had Blade. And then, kabam, what they did, the dirty buggers, they wanted to nerf Blade. Kabam wanted to nerf Blade. Don't trust me on this. They wanted to. But they couldn't just do it. They couldn't just go and change Blade, because this was after 12.0. They didn't want another instant like that. This is all my theories. But so they wanted to nerf Blade. So what they did was they started releasing champions to counter Blade. They released Iron Man Infinity War. They released Domino. You're not going to use Blade against either of those champions. They started releasing champions like that countered Blade. So it was like a silent nerf to Blade with the new character. I swear to God, this happened. And yeah, but wow, that was a big damn it. That was a big ramble about Blade. There's just so many memories in the community with Blade, which I love. But yeah, Blade was the top champ in the game for a long time. The Holy Trinity with Ghost Rider and Stark Spidey here. This team was just the pinnacle of MCOC for a while, and I had it, and it was great, and I felt like a god. And that was one of the reasons why I took a break. That wasn't the biggest factor in it, but that was one of the reasons why I took a break from the game, just because I felt like there was nothing left for me to do. I felt like there's nothing left for me to acquire. I feel like I had everything because I had the Holy Trinity. But then they started releasing champs like Corvus, Domino, Ghost, so I had stuff to do when I came back. I had champions to acquire. But Blade, he's really good, man. He's got regen. His regen is by far the best thing that has aged about Blade. It's one of the best regens in the entire game. Very reliable regeneration, and it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. With the right synergies, he's still really good against Mystic champions and villains, because he gets his what's it called here? Danger Sense, which gives him attack rating and lowers the opponent's offensive ability accuracy. It doesn't say offensive, but just their ability accuracy. I don't know if that's both, but he can also shrug off debuffs really fast, which is cool. He got parry on his bleed. He gains power when the opponent's bleeding, which is also cool. Yeah, Blade, he's just awesome, man. He's really awesome. Increased crit rate on special 2. He's pretty old at this point now, but he is still really good, especially for like a new player. If you got Blade, he can get you through a ton of content. He's just not as good today because there's champions just do what Blade can do, but do it better. Like Human Torch is a much better against Mystic champions than Blade is. He's a better Mystic Slayer. But Blade, that regen, I love it, man. That's what I really love about Blade. Now coming in, I'm sorry, we rambled on a little bit there. I apologize. Coming in at the number 2 spot for the skilled class is HitMonkey. So HitMonkey here, I got him as a 6-star rank 3. Absolutely love HitMonkey. He is actually like a skill version of Corvus. It is crazy. The parallels, but there's a lot of parallels between the two of them. They both crit, guaranteed crits, which is great. They both can counter evasion. The thing about HitMonkey though, they're both also very suicide friendly. But the thing I absolutely love about HitMonkey is that the big difference between him and Corvus. I'm not saying he's better than Corvus. I think Corvus is better. But the big difference between him and Corvus is that HitMonkey doesn't have to ramp up. There's no ramp up. He doesn't have to gain charges. He doesn't have to be certain characters. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do anything to ramp up. You just start the fight and you're good to go. I love that. No ramp up at all, ever. On top of that, he has no charges to run out of or anything. So like Corvus, once you use your 28 glaive charges, you can't crit for a while. It's going on cooldown. HitMonkey has no cooldown. Medium, light, medium, 100% crits 100% of the time. Medium, light, medium, special 2. Your special 2 is going to crit 100% of the time. Always going to crit. Guaranteed crits. Always. Never run out of them. No build up, no nothing. That's pretty great, man. That's pretty great right there. And HitMonkey, he just scales with attack, with boosts, with suicide masteries. It just makes him better and better. He's got a pretty good evade counter. It's not as good as Corvus is with the proximum synergy, but it's a good evade counter. I soloed Labyrinth Spider-Man with him, which was pretty cool. He also can shrug off suicides, which is great, and just debuffs, which is really cool. And then he also has an evade mechanic of his own. So if you're fighting a champion and with HitMonkey and they evade, you're going to gain your Assassin's Cunning, which as long as you have that, the opponent cannot evade. And it can't be like nullified or anything. It's just, or affected by ability accuracy. It's just one of his abilities. It's built-in abilities. It's not a buff or anything like that, so you don't have to worry. So you have this now, and the opponent now cannot evade. And also, and then if you get hit, there's a chance for you to evade, a very high chance you get to evade. So a bit of a safety net on him there, which I do really like. So that's cool. And yeah, just the guaranteed crits. He also has bleeds, critical bleeds. And what I really like about his bleeds is that, for critical bleeds, like for Domino, it's all luck. All luck, and I never get critical bleeds with her, or I never get perfect critical bleeds with her, or whatever. And it's just, it's not fun. But with HitMonkey, the more bleeds you apply and you don't get a critical bleed, the better the chance you will get a critical bleed, which is great. I really, really love that. You actually can control the amount of critical bleeds that you get. You're almost like guaranteed to get some, which is really cool. He also has he doesn't rely on any synergies, which I love. He doesn't need any synergies. But he has a cool one here to apply an armor break debuff. So for a fight, if you need armor break utility, fighting an Emma Frost, if you're fighting Green Goblin in Abyss of Legends, you want that armor break, boom, there's a synergy for it, and you can just increase your damage output. So yeah, it's cool synergy to have, but again, doesn't need any synergies, which is great. And then we get to the number 1 champ in the skill class, and I think the crazy thing is that this champion, just like the discrepancy of like how good this champion is to the rest of the skill class is just huge. Like Nick Fury is by far the best skill champion in the game. I think he's one of the best champions in the entire game, but just like by far, he is so much better than every other skill champion. It's not even close. Like it's not even close. For Aegon, fully ramped up in Abyss and in Labyrinth, sure. But outside of Abyss and Labyrinth, Nick Fury is 100% better than Aegon. 100%. Like, Nick Fury is just insane. He is so good, man. You can be 100% unblockable for an entire fight. You get a fat Fury once Nick Fury is awakened, and it's a permanent Fury. Let's see how big that Fury actually is. Fury is Furious Fury. Where's that Fury? Where does it say? Tactical charges, is it under here? Nope. Basic attacks, battle scars. Why can I not find this? I haven't read through this man's abilities in a very long time. Cannot find it for the life of me. Oh, here we go. I'm an idiot. It's right here. At 20 plus charges. Maybe I should have looked how he gains the Fury. Yeah, there we go. Stupid. 4100 attack rating. That is a nice Fury buff. That is a very nice Fury buff, actually, that you gain. And yeah, with the Awaken ability here, you keep your Fury's Fury buff. And you also get stun immunity, which stun immunity is very, very niche to have on a champion, to be immune to the effects of stun, and that is so good. So good. It's so good in the Abyss for like Yellow Jacket, Invisible Woman, just not having to worry about being stunned. Also for nodes like encroaching stun, Nick Fury doesn't care. He can't be stunned once he's fighting for real, once he's died once. But the best thing about Nick Fury Awakened, yeah, well, it's a couple things. There's a lot. The cool thing is signature level 1, and you're ready to rock. Nothing above signature level 1 is required for him on offense, which is amazing. The only stuff you get from increasing his Sigmar is prestige, and on defense, it's a little bit better. But again, not even needed on defense. But the best thing about Nick Fury Awakened is that you have one of the biggest safety nets in the entire game. One of the biggest safety nets in the entire game. And once you lose your safety net, like, you just become a much better champion. Like, it is crazy. So what do I mean by this? So, when you're using Nick Fury Awakened, your damage output is good. It's not crazy. It's not top tier. It's good. You do hit all right. You have a pretty high critical rate. You apply some pretty good bleeds. And that's just normal Nick Fury. And then if you die, in like an alliance where, oh no, you die. Oh wait, you shoot back up to 100% health. You purify any debuffs on you. And now you get this Fury permanently. That 4,000 attack Fury. Was it 4,000? I know where it is now. Yeah, 4,000 attack. That's more than his attack right now with suicides. So you're more than doubling Nick Fury's attack. And yeah, so you purify all your debuffs, and you just get this second chance at life. In Alliance War, that's so huge, man. Having a whole nother life of a safety net to rely on is just so huge. And now, not only do your basic attacks hit a whole lot harder, now you can become permanently unblockable for an entire fight. Your bleeds become way stronger. You're able to permanently bypass, miss, evade, and auto block, because you're unblockable, so you can't be blocked. So you're able to bypass, evade, auto block, and miss permanently. Fully unblockable. You hit like a truck. Like, it is just insane how much stuff you get once you kill off the fake Nick Fury, the life model decoy. You can also shrug off debuffs just by knocking the opponent down, and I'm pretty sure it goes to all debuffs once you're using the real Nick Fury. So yeah, it's just so much utility with Nick Fury once you're onto the real Nick Fury. The only downside is you can only have 30% health. If you're above 30% health, you're just going to degenerate until you go to 30% health, which does suck, but just that safety net is so nice. And I mean, for Alliance War, it is kind of sketchy to be at 30% health, but in places where it doesn't matter if you die, that's fine. Like in Abyss or Labyrinth or Act 6, you die. Okay, whatever. You pop a 20% revive, maybe a potion to give him 30%, and boom, you're good to go. Like, you don't have to waste potions healing him to 100 because he's just gonna lose that health anyways. So yeah, and as far as synergies go, Nick Fury does not need any synergies. He's actually just like he's a synergy god for other champions, but he himself does not need anything. But yeah, he's got some of the best synergies in the entire game to shrug off the bleed or poison from suicides with these dead pools. He's got a really good evade synergy. He's got an okay synergy to increase critical rating at the start of the fight. He's got a synergy to increase fury buff duration. He's got a synergy to apply a debuff immunity buff. I think that's what it is. If you get a Cold Snap, Frostbite, or Incinerate on you. And then he also has one that, this one's kind of weird. I've never seen this one really be used. If you would be knocked below a bar of power, it removes the effect. Or once per fight on teammate would be inflicted with an effect that would reduce or block their power bar, he will drop a power kit, removing the effect and granting 1 bar of power for 10 seconds. I've never even seen that one in action, but it could be useful. Yeah, just so many synergies. And then just this synergy right here, he just grants the team 10% attack rating. And it's doubled if Nick Fury's dead. So that's like a 20% attack boost is the biggest orange boost that there is. So you can just get that if you have a dead Nick Fury on your team, which is just crazy, man. So just Nick Fury, just so much going on. He also has an extremely high base critical rate of 29%, which is pretty nice. And, you know, decent block proficiency as well at 65%. He's also just a phenomenal defender, so he's just got so much going for him. It's crazy. And you pair him with Deep Wounds, and he's one of the best bleeders in the entire game. It is honestly just crazy how much abilities this Nick Fury has. And the reason he's just so much better than all the other champions in this whole class is just because he has so many abilities that he gets. It's honestly crazy. Counters evade, auto block, miss, can be fully unblockable, has insane bleeds, insane base damage, second life, safety net. Like, there's just so much the man can do. It is crazy compared to all the other champions on the list. It's crazy, and there's like no build up. Like whereas Aegon, you know, you gotta build him up. But Nick, nah, you're good. Here you go. Have fun with your Nick Fury. If you die, he gets stronger. It's pretty crazy, just the amount of abilities Nick Fury has to the rest of the skill class. Other skill champions could use some more. I feel like HitMonkey was definitely a step in the right direction, but he's still not near that Nick Fury-ness. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the rankings of the skill class here. Very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions. That's going to do it though. This was definitely the longest video so far of these class ones. I rambled on. I talked a lot. It took like me a minute to find how much attack rating Nick Fury's buff gives. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.